Hello, it's time for High Desert Highlights. I'm Peyton Thomas. That's Steele Haugen, and tonight the first league games for the Intermountain Conference.
Yeah, that's right. Our feature game, Mountain View at home versus Caldera. The Cougars looking to stay unbeaten. The Wolfpack hoping to get back on track after a couple of forfeit losses. It was the homecoming game for Mountain View tonight, and the Cougars were not messing around. Opening kickoff, Jordan Best, he's there to return the kick, lead blockers in front of him. Then he finds a lane down the right sideline, and he is gone. Turns on the speed. The Cougars, they strike first on the very opening kickoff.
How about that speed right there?
And now Mountain View, they don't waste any more time. They get the ball back. Mason Chambers throws to the end zone, intercepted by Caldera's Deacon Gregorio. But the Cougars defense stepping up soon after they get a pick. After the pick, they get a safety. They get 2 points and the ball back. Cougs in scoring position. Chambers looks right, scrambles, avoids the defender, rolls back to the left, looks left, and perfect throw, touchdown, Best again. Mountain View recovers another fumble and capitalizes on it. Chambers finds Evan Worthington, who dives in for the score. Mountain View takes a 21-0 lead at half and stays undefeated. They win 35-0. Now, if you remember earlier this week, it was announced by the Oregon Schools Activities Association that Caldera had to forfeit its only 2 wins of the season. They violated rules aiming at limiting players' playing time over a 48-hour period. Now, some Caldera players played 6 quarters, both JV and varsity games combined. Head coach Mike Mitchell, he resigned Sunday, and I talked with assistant coach Ryan Miller, who's been promoted to the interim head coach for the rest of the season.
Just the response with everything that's happened has been absolutely incredible. The administration at Caldera, the parents, the coaching staff has been an absolute dream to work with. There's so much trust within the coaching staff, and the kids have just instantly bought in. It's been a dream week for me. I couldn't be happier with everything.
All right, let's head up to Ridgeview. The Ravens hosting the Storm tonight, and this one knotted at 3 after a defensive first half, but both squads came alive in the second half. Now Ridgeview looking to grab the lead first out of the locker room, and Eshawn Ortiz with a run had set up Adam Millington. And there's Ortiz getting down inside the 5. And you know, Steele, this was a big game for both of these teams. And Summit came out with a big offensive explosion in the fourth quarter and a lead. They take this one 24-17. All right, across the town at Redmond High, the Panthers taking on the undefeated Lava Bears, and Bend looking to keep that clean 0-loss record. They controlled this one from the beginning. That's Max Duncan evading multiple tacklers on his way for a first down. Bend moved the ball on offense efficiently through much of the night, but really it was about the defense. Lava Bears standing strong with this goal line stop on 4th down. But Redmond did break through for one explosive touchdown. How about this pitch and catch? Jack Snyder to Ethan Powell. It wasn't enough. Bend was up big early in this one. They take home the win 27-7. Steele, they're now 5-0. I think that was sort of a sneaky team at the beginning of the season, and now Bend, one of the powerhouses here.
I don't think people expected that, and here they are.
All right, let's take a look at a couple of those 5A scores. Steele, you were at the shutout tonight, Mountain View Caldera. That Summit Ridgeview game, there were a couple late picks for Summit that were absolutely explosive. Ridgeview had the lead in that game in the fourth quarter, and then Summit really wrapped it up. That's a team that's battle-tested and going to be really good by the time that they reach a couple of those other Bend teams later in the year.
It's going to be interesting. This is the first game of the IMC League play, so we'll see how it goes later on.
All right. More games coming up after the break.
Welcome back to High Desert Highlights. I'm Steele Haugen, and this is Peyton Thomas. We're heading to Lapine for some football action. It was homecoming for the Hawks as well, hosting Harrisburg. First, they're doing it on defense. 4th down, I can't tell if they were going for it or this was a muffed punt, but either way, it's turnover, and the Hawks get the ball and make the stop. A few plays later, it's Memphis Kalmbach who runs it in for the score, and Lapine picks up its first win of the season. They defeat Harrisburg 13-7.
And you know they were waiting a long time for that first win, Steele. A couple of tough losses, especially at home, and a tough one to Madras. They were up on Klamath Union, I believe, earlier on in the year, and Finally, the Hawks getting rewarded for a lot of that hard work.
What a better night.
On homecoming.
Now, we reported earlier this week that Lapine Park and Rec Districts canceled all of its youth sports, including youth tackle football. So a group came together to make sports continued in Lapine after just a bit of uncertainty.
We were not privy to a lot of things that was going on. However, the reason why I come out is I want to serve the community. I want to give back to these kids, and these kids deserve that. We were able to get some funding. We were able to get some insurance and continue with some of the insurance opportunities that we had. We had parents rally. We had a great group of parents, a great group of players rallied together this week to continue to make this season happen. And that's our plan, to continue on and provide opportunity for these kids to play football this season.
All right, we've got an undefeated Crook County and undefeated Culver. Some of those games and highlights coming up after the break. Stay with us.
All right, well, we're going to have some Thursday night action from Creswell now. Madras looking for their third win of the season, and it wasn't a great start. Long run for the Bulldogs puts Creswell up, and a pair of scores in the second quarter. They're just really finding their groove over the White Buffaloes, but the White Buffs looking for a response. A fumble with the snap. Puts the ball on the ground, scoop and score. Look at the speed again on the Bulldogs, and they spot 20 on the board into halftime.
Madras was really in this game. It was just a couple explosive plays that really put them behind.
All right, in the second half, though, they did get this. Dason Rodriguez, 1-yard run, cuts the lead. Finally, we move to the fourth quarter. One last gasp for Madras to stay in the ball game. Deep shot to Gavin Williams, incomplete. Madras goes down and loses 20-6 on the road.
More Thursday night action comes again from 3A, this time from Cottage Grove. Sisters striking first against the Lions with this long touchdown bomb from Hunter Bronson to Hudson Beckwith. How about the wheels from Beckwith?
Yeah, look at that. Speed equals speed.
All the way down the sideline. Outlaws look to add on in the second quarter, and they do with this outside run to Kale Mock. 13-0 Outlaws, but the Cottage Grove offense starts to come alive. 3 unanswered scores, all in the second half. That brings the Sisters down 9. Now this score back within 2. That's a play-action touchdown, but it's not enough. Cottage Grove takes down the Outlaws with that touchdown right there, pulling away 28-19. Sisters drops to 3-2. All right, let's take a look at a couple of those scores that we just saw highlights from Steele. And from this 3A action, a big win for Lapine, and then a couple of teams that were middling around 500 there, Madras and Sisters, they take losses.
And that Cottage Grove team, they're undefeated. That is a real test for Sisters, and they were just hanging right in there.
Yeah, all right. Now over to undefeated Crook County hosting Park Rose. The Cowboys looked ready to dominate this game from the first snap and take advantage of some great field position, not once, but a couple of times off of some bad Park Rose snaps from punting formation. That's Gavin Sandoval, who's going to sneak it in on this next play, putting Crook County up 34-0 at the beginning of the second quarter, and it didn't get a whole lot prettier from there for Park Rose. By the end of the night, the Crook County offense was operating to a running clock.
62 points in special teams matters, I'll tell you that right now.
Emiliano Rodriguez churning ahead. That Sandoval touchdown, icing on the cake. Crook County blows out the Broncos 62-8 on home turf. Cowboys are climbing 5-0 Steele.
Yeah, they are 5-0, and I think top 5 ranking, or at least they should be now.
They should be next week. Another team that could be in the top 5 of their own rankings, the 2A Culver Bulldogs. They're undefeated, 4-0 going into today's game at Lowell. And this one was scoreless into halftime, but finally the Bulldogs get the play to jumpstart the energy. Roger Sotelo, a pick 6, taking it all the way back. Lowell answers with a touchdown, but Culver respond right back, a 70-yard pass, and the receiver's so quick he didn't even stay on the screen there, Steele.
Look at that. That's called a bomb right there.
All right, to the fourth quarter, Lowell still hanging around, but the Bulldogs find some separation. Houston Wittenberg for the score. He's punching it in a quick stop, and this monster run from Cole Rahi seals the deal. Steele. Culver remains undefeated, a 30-13 lead, or 30-13 win on Lowell. All right, there's a couple of those big wins, and now we've got time for just one or two of our top plays. Steele?
Yeah, we do. First, we're going to go to the quarterback, Tommy Morrison for Caldera. If we can, oh, there's a little open, but now we're going to get to quarterback Tommy Morrison. passes it to Highhattenauer. He looks like he's tackled right there, but he gets up and gets a few more plays there. One more quick look. Just look at, almost looks like he's tackled, but just gets a few more yards.
All right, big moment in the Summit Ridgeview game here, and we're going to slow it down for you. This is when Summit's trying to seal the game. Adam Milliken looking across the middle, and this interception, that won the game for Summit right there. All right, more Intermountain Conference action next week. We'll see you next Friday night.
Can't wait.